The protests against police brutality continue nationwide. Immigrant rights and advocates are sounding the alarm over the presence of ICE, that's Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, at some of the demonstrations. Last week, a viral video showed a group of ICE agents working with the New York City Police Department to detain a protester at a George Floyd rally in New York City.
One of the big concerns we have with ICE being partnering with the NYPD right now is, they've been very opportunistic in terms of policing. Over the past 10 years, we've seen ICE basically attach themselves or embed themselves to local policing forces all over the country. Now almost every fingerprint taken at a police precinct serves as like an automatic alert system to ICE and triggers a request by ICE. Could trigger a request by ICE to ask cops in jails to hold someone after they're released from criminal custody. And in New York State, we've seen in the past 3 years under Trump, a 1,700% increase in ICE arrests at New York State courthouses. This is why we have a bill, Immigrant Defense Project has a bill right now in front of the New York State Legislature, the Protect Our Courts Act, which would limit ICE's practice of targeting people in and around courthouses.
So right now we're in a moment where people want to be out in the streets advocating, building that solidarity, especially when we're talking about the Latinx, the Chicanos, a documented community. They want to be out in the streets in solidarity. And a lot of folks are coming. They are seeing that these protests are being met with excessive force. However, they are seeing that this call for justice is far too big to not answer. And a lot of folks are going, such as Johan, who was also another DACA recipient who was caught in. One thing that is very important to note when we're talking about protesting and we're talking about anybody going to a protest, whether it is a DACA recipient or somebody who does not have any papers whatsoever, is that protests are supposed to be considered sensitive locations. The Trump administration had even acknowledged protests being a sensitive location, just like hospitals, just like funerals, just like weddings, where ICE is not supposed to be allowed to even be around the periphery, but also there's not to be any raids. But we see now what really this umbrella, guys, is that if ICE isn't out there rounding people up, targeting individuals who they want to pick up, like what we're seeing with the cases in New York, it is the police departments themselves who are arresting and giving high charges to individuals who may or may not have DACA recipients, may be eligible to be DACA recipients, and streaming them into this deportation pipeline. So this is what's happening. It's all a mechanism that has already existed and is existed to continue to criminalize Black and brown bodies.